Welcome to the fifth installment of Bobcats United, Breaking the Silence, a conversation about sexual assault on college campuses, co-hosted by student government and not on my campus. Before we begin, please know some individuals may find the following messages upsetting. If you feel you need a moment, please feel free to take a step outside, take a breath, and enjoy your refreshments.
I know that Texas State in the past year has increased its way to report your sexual assault, which has led to an increased number of reported sexual assaults on our campus.
I think the problem, like many problems, you really don't see it necessarily every day, but I have heard about this problem. And I think it's very important that we listen to these survivors and know that just because we don't necessarily see it every day doesn't mean that it's not happening.
On a micro level, I am aware that there is a sexual assault problem on campus because each semester I have met with and tried to help as many of my students as possible who have come to me to tell me that they have been the victim of sexual assault. On that small level, I am aware that that is something that is problematic for us.
Sexual assault is a problem on our campus, but it is also a problem on every campus in the U.S., and it is a problem in every city, small town in the U.S. Yes, it's a problem here because it's a problem everywhere.
I feel like it's kind of the elephant in the room. Like everyone knows it's happening, but no one wants to talk about it openly.
I don't think every Texas State student is aware of some of the problems that we do face. It's a very sensitive issue, so I'm not sure if the magnitude that it impacts students is made aware to every student on our campus.
I think they do, but they just, maybe a lot of them don't want to see it. They know that there's a problem, they've had friends who it has happened to, but they just ignore it because it's not fun to talk about.
So as far as everyone noticing that it's an issue, unfortunately I've heard certain individuals say, oh, this isn't an issue, it's a fake issue. And I think that's incredibly problematic. There is some work to be done on letting people know that this is an issue, and just because it hasn't happened to either themselves or somebody they know doesn't mean that it's not happening.
I don't think it's something that each student is aware of. I think unless it hits them personally, they're just not going to know about it, and as a result, I question whether it is something that's widely known.
I would also guess that more of our female students are aware of this problem than our male students. Once we shifted to us recognizing that it's not just a female problem, that it is a female, male, everyone problem, we will see a change in how our society and ideology focus on sexual assault.
So I think with Not on My Campus, it's brought a lot more awareness to the problem, but I don't think everyone realizes that it is an issue.
I'd say out of 4 students, 2 of them have been sexually assaulted.
I think it's quite higher than any of us would ever know. I don't know specifically what that is.
You know, I do not know the exact statistic, but I can tell you anecdotally that every semester I've taught here, so this is my 4th year, that at least one, if not multiple students have come to me to talk about their experience being sexually assaulted.
From what I've heard, it's 1 in 5 women.
I've heard 1 out of every 4 college women, and I believe 1 in 16 men will be sexually assaulted during their time at Ford University.
I think that one of the things that we need to do is, again, perhaps a lot more awareness. We do a good job of perhaps at Bobcat Preview and things like that, but once students get away from that kind of learning environment, they probably forget about it, particularly as they make plans to go out and do things in an environment that might be conducive for assaults to happen.
I think that for us to talk about it in a manner where it's not about what a victim can do to prevent sexual assault, I think we need to talk about it in a manner of how do we raise young men and women from a very young age to talk about this issue and talk about what it means to respect someone's life, their decisions, and their body. But unfortunately, I think it needs to start even sooner than the college age. I think we have created a society that allows for sexual assault to go unnoticed because everything is seen through the male gaze. And because of that, there are not enough men stepping up to talk about what is right and what is wrong, and also sticking up for people that they know that may have experienced any level of sexual assault or threat, and sticking up to their friends when they are saying things that are chauvinistic.
People need to take responsibility in their own hands, and if you see something, you need to say something about it. And if something happens to you, you need to report it, because that's the only way we can move further.
Being a survivor of sexual assault, I felt like it was my fault. It was my fault for having anything to drink at all, although I had no idea I had been drugged. It was my fault for not having fought back, even though I could barely move. Every time I would leave the house, I would be terrified that I would see him. I was scared to ride the bus to campus. I was afraid that if I looked up walking through the quad that I might see him or he would see me. I believe that Not on My Campus is an amazing start to working to prevent sexual assault on our campus, but I still think we have a long way to go. There has to be less of an emphasis on telling us to watch what we drink, what we wear, and more of an emphasis on if you see a girl who has had too much to drink, take care of her. That is not the window of opportunity for someone to score with someone who can't even hold their head up. That is the window of opportunity to do the right thing and take care of someone in a very vulnerable situation who needs someone to take care of them, not someone who's going to take everything from them.
Being a rape survivor has affected me a lot. I don't feel as open in social events with alcohol as many of my friends have had an experience with sexual assault. I find that I'm always alert and aware of my surroundings, and I'm constantly afraid of walking on campus or at night out of fear. I do feel that my sexual assault is a problem on our campus, but it's not only a problem for women. I have male friends who also have had experiences with it, as well as many of my female friends. All in all, sexual assault on campus needs to be stopped.
I'm very open about being a survivor. Sometimes people are amazingly kind and compassionate. Other times people distance themselves and tiptoe around me, or treat me coldly, often accusing me of lying. The road to opening up about my assault was a hard one, but one that brought me a lot of hope for the future, closure of my attack, and passion for the subject of sexual awareness and prevention. I will aid in fighting every day to make sure Texas State gets consent. Organizations like Student Government and Not on My Campus are crucial in the fight against campus sexual assault, as they are working to help the student body recognize and understand the severity of the issue on our campus and make a real change about it.